would this particular increase solve the problem? Because we know our economy runs basically on oil. And if anything happens to the price of petrol, oil in the international market, it affects the price of every commodity in the country. Does it then solve the problem to just increase the salaries?
No, this is not the only measure that the government should put in place. This is only one of it. And while this is also significant, it may not solve the problem, but it will also address part of the problem. Because whether you increase salaries or not, the reality is that prices have been going up. And one of the immediate steps you can take, to cushion the effect, especially on salary and across board, is to also review their salaries. But I agree with you, we need to also address issues of inflation generally. And addressing issues of inflation is beyond the issue of subsidy. It's a question of how well we manage our macroeconomic environment. That is a much bigger issue. How we manage our foreign exchange policy, how we manage our monetary policy, how we manage our debt, how we manage our fiscal deficit. All of those things are part of the things that contribute to high inflation. And these measures are not mutually exclusive. They have to go hand in hand. And in addition to that, there are also fiscal policy measures that should be put in place. It's not enough to just give salary. We should also look at how we can bring down the cost of living, which comes back to the point you are talking about. How do we bring down the cost of food? And we can do that by looking at those who are in the agricultural sector. What are the things affecting their cost of production? They complain about farm equipment, they complain about cost of fertilizer, they complain about cost of inputs, agrochemicals, cost of transportation. All of these things contribute to increases in the price of food. Farmers also in some parts of the country, they also complain about problems of insecurity. Many of them cannot go to farm. So we should also have measures to deal with productivity issues, production issues, so that the cost of food production can come down. Look at bread, for instance. The price of bread, which is a staple food, has gone up by close to 150 to 200% in the last 3 years or 2 years. What is driving that? If you talk to those who are in bread production, they will tell you about the cost of sugar. They will tell you about the cost of flour. What kind of engagement can our government have with those who are the key producers in this area to bring down the cost of sugar, to bring down the cost of flour, so that things like bread, things like noodles, these are things that common people eat. So it's a much bigger strategy than just doling out money. How many people will you give money to? What is the percentage of salary earners among the totality of the population that are working? I'm not sure they're up to 5%. So the issue is not even only about those who are earning salaries or those who are workers in the government. It's about the totality of the citizens. And for us to be able to achieve that, we need to address the issue of policies across board. Fiscal policies, monetary policies. We need to look at our tariffs. Import duty on some of these items that people use for production are extremely very high. So these are bigger issues that need to be addressed in order to ensure that what you give in one hand, you are not taking back to the other hand. Getting the refineries to work is a major solution to the problem. It's a major step.
So why is the government not talking about it? Why is it not being mentioned in any of these?
No, let's situate this within the totality of the reform that we are talking about. This is within the framework of the Petroleum Industry Act. And this reform is structured in a way to take the government out of the equation. The government cannot deliver effective refineries. The government cannot run it efficiently. Corruption will continue in that space. Can you compare what you have with NITEL with what you have with the telcos these days? Can you compare? Where is NITEL today? We need the private sector to come into that arena. So please, let's stop talking about government going to invest in refineries. That has not helped.
So why not have a concession plan?
For 50 years, we have been in oil production. How many private refineries have you seen? The government has been sitting on the sector for so many years.
But Dr. Yusuf,
look at the waste.
But Dr. Yusuf, if you remember vividly, perhaps during the campaigns, we've had, let's say, the PDP presidential candidate talked a lot about privatization of the refineries and the rest of them. And we also had this administration ongoing saying, well, that's a plan for accusing the candidate and its crews of wanting to take over the nation's assets and make money from it, etc., etc. We've had all those political statements made back and forth. But now here you are saying the government cannot manage it. We need the private sector. Is it now a thing of politics, perhaps? Why exactly? If that's the case, over the years, we have not heard the government talk about a concession plan to have maybe private individuals run the refineries. In fact, the focus seemed to have shifted more to the Dangote refinery, which the government is waiting to come up to run. The Port Harcourt refinery was supposed to be running as at November last year. It went to December. It was now postponed to March. And now we're hearing we have to wait for the second quarter of this year. We don't know when in the second quarter. So politics, the major problem now?
You see, when people are making money from a particular situation, especially people in government and some policymakers, the bureaucrats and the politicians, once people are pursuing self-interest, it will be difficult to reform that kind of space. That is what is playing out. People don't want to let go of the refinery because people are making. Do you know how many people are working there doing nothing and drawing salaries? Do you know how much we are spending on all this turnaround maintenance? Where is the money going to? Some people are benefiting from the rot in that sector.
Why isn't the government investigating then? The monies it has put in, why not do an audit? Why not investigate? Why not find out where this money is going to, who is holding them, and make proper prosecution or prosecute people who are found wanting?
Well, you have to refer that to those who are in government. But as a citizen, I believe that we need to push back the government from this sector and allow investors to come into that state.